Interact with us on Facebook. Now, here's your host, Brian the Beast London.
We're back here on All Canes Radio. The Beast Brian London, live from the Shack, Shake Shack, Coral Gables, 1450 South Dixie Highway, right across from the University of Miami. 8 flat screens ready to serve you with the Heat game on. The beer is flowing, the shakes are flowing, the burgers, the fries, everything is great here at Shake Shack. What's great tonight is the entertainment, because we're here, and the entertainment got exponentially greater when the man sitting next to me,
You're listening to All Canes.
when the man sitting next to me sat down, and we welcome the remarkable one, Lamar Thomas, to the show. Lamar, what's up, man?
Great to be back in South Florida.
Look at you, man. You're all just clean cut coach. Like, you're triple C right now. You're ready to go. You're down here wearing your Western Kentucky shirt. Congratulations on the gig. Working with Bobby Petrino at Western Kentucky. Now you're trying to steal all these players from down here. That's what you're trying to do?
That's what I was hired for. Because of my my South Florida ties. So
right.
I'm just down here trying to see what players we can find to make our program successful.
2 years at Hampton. Now you're at Western Kentucky. How do you like the coaching thing?
I love it. For a long time I couldn't figure out what my calling in life was for, and I'm here to mentor, and I enjoy it. I mean, it's an enjoyable job. A lot of times I sit in my office and I just say, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this for a living. Mentoring young men and trying to help them not maybe make some of the same mistakes that I might have made or some of my friends, and giving them an opportunity and a blueprint on life to try to be as successful as possible.
You've always been a guy that when you're watching football, especially your team, the Canes here, if a guy didn't make a play, you get a little frustrated, what have you. You could see the angst in watching kids play. They're not doing this technique right, they're not doing this right, and now you're kind of able to take what you've learned over the years, what you knew you had upstairs, and kind of pass it on to the next generation.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's teaching.
Right.
Coaching is teaching, and as a fan, you definitely enjoy the game, and for a long time, and even when I was doing TV and radio, I definitely enjoyed the game. But this is a lot different because there's a lot more that goes into it. Like I said, at the end of the day, just helping these young men turn into great men, and that's so important to me.
What's the toughest part about coaching, Lamar? Is it keeping these kids, keeping them out of trouble? Is it the technique part of just teaching them the position of wide receiver, or is it the academic part? What is the toughest part for you?
Well, Michael Barra, who was my roommate my freshman and sophomore year, coach at University of Miami, obviously. When I told him I was going to get into coaching, I think he gave me probably the best advice. He said, the first thing and the hardest thing you're going to have to realize, Lamar, is that these kids are not you. And he's right. Every day I go in, I have to remind myself, because each and every one of them is different. And some of them don't have the same fire. Some of them don't have the same desire. And as far as us as coaches, our job is to try to motivate them each and every day, because sometimes they need it, and that's what it's all about.
You've got the shaved head, but you're growing the beard, and I see a couple gray hairs. Is that from coaching? Is that from those kids sort of driving you a little? What's the one thing that maybe angers you the most about them? Is it not seeing that same desire, that drive that you had sometimes, and that's the most frustrating part?
I think the most frustrating part is that sometimes they just don't listen. And, I've called Coach Erickson, and I've called Coach Burkowski, I've called Coach Rich Olson, and I've apologized because I know I didn't listen sometimes. So, but, when it's all said and done, man, it's just when you sit back and you see a kid that's maybe has had some problems before you got a chance to mentor him, and he's turning his life around, that makes you proud. That makes you want to come to work every day. and the challenges of trying to make sure they graduate and look forward to the future. You know, one of the things I do with my kids is I want to know why they're playing the game, and I feel like it's important. I want to know what motivates them, why they're in this room. You know, Coach Petrino has always said that he wants guys that have the ambition and the want to get to the NFL. We feel as though if you have that ambition and that want to be successful at the highest level, you'll be great in life.
Talk about you were at Hampton in Virginia for 2 years, and then you moved over to Western Kentucky. Just talk about the process, you know, interviewing with Coach Petrino, how that went, you know, what you thought of him the first time you met him, what he thought of you. Just talk about that process.
Well, I don't know how it happened. I really don't. I didn't know Coach Petrino. He told me that he used to come down to University of Miami to visit Coach Harrison, and you know, he would sit in on the wide receiver meetings, and he always remembered me kind of conducting the meetings and you know, trying to get guys right to perform, and just being a character, but not in a bad way.
Right.
And he said he always remembered that. And I guess when the job came open for, he wanted to find a Florida tie, a connection, a receivers coach. I think maybe he might have called Coach Harrison, who I've always thought of as a father figure to me, just like Jimmy was and is. And I think maybe he might have put the bug in his ear. And, you know, the most important thing, you know, I definitely knew the game, and I also had those South Florida ties, and I think he understands, and he even said this before when he was at Louisville. One of the reasons why they were successful is because they went after Florida kids and they were able to get them.
And now you're coming down here to South Florida, the Tri-County area, essentially, in recruiting. Are you recruiting against the University of Miami now? Are you recruiting against the big three, let's say, of Florida? Or because Western Kentucky is technically a smaller, maybe not as well-known school, are you trying to go after, you know, lesser-known guys that are sort of diamonds in the rough?
I'm trying to go after the best players. You know, if he's a Miami guy, then so be it. My job is to try to get the best players that I can get. Obviously, I'm a UN guy. I love the University of Miami, but my job is to win football games and develop young men. So if it comes down between myself and another coach or myself and University of Miami, I'm going to try to win. And that's what we were taught at the University of Miami, to win.
Give us your pitch. Give us Western Kentucky's pitch. Why would I want to be a Hilltopper?
We have Bobby Petrino, and it's a great place to play. And you know, we're moving to Conference USA, and we're trying to win this thing. And he's been very successful at all three places. You know, he's turned the programs around, Louisville, Arkansas, and now it's his opportunity to turn it around at Western Kentucky. Even though Coach Taggart, who's at USF, they did a great job, but it's now time to take it to a whole new level.
You know, thinking back to when you were being recruited, Lamar, are you using any of those same tactics that University of Miami coaches used on you to lure you, or does it bring back memories of the coach coming and sitting down in your house in front of your mom on your couch? Does it bring back memories now that you're on the other side? A
little bit. I think, you know, for me, going into homes, especially in Florida, South Florida, the fact that the parents know me, it's kind of cool because, you know, they start talking about when I was playing, whether it was for the Hurricanes or the Dolphins. It's kind of cool, and it kind of puts the kid in a different light. He kind of looks at me in a different light. So it's been very interesting. I think this is definitely a place where I can get into homes that maybe some people couldn't. And I think Coach Petrino saw that opportunity, and that's why I'm there.
The 2 rings that you have on your hands, how much does that help when you knock on the door?
Definitely with the coaches. You know, a lot of them, you know, have seen me play, and one of the great things about recruiting down here in South Florida is the fact that, you know, I coached high school football down in South Florida. And
you were up in Boynton?
Boynton Beach High School. And so for a lot of these coaches that are head coaches and assistant coaches, we did camps together. So they look at me as one of them that was able to to go on to the next level. And, you know, because I was just like those guys, working the University of Miami camps, working the University of Florida camp, working Florida State's camp. And yes, I said it, I worked those camps because at some point, yeah, I went to the University of Miami, but it's a business and you have to live your life and you have to do what's best for you.
I'm not sure that Lamar Thomas that was standing on the sideline in the swamp in 2003 or whatever year it was as Mo Sykes was returning that interception for a touchdown, who was, I would say, very adamant about his passion for the University of Miami at the time. I'm not sure if I asked that Lamar Thomas if he would be in a camp in Gainesville, you would have said, yeah, no problem. I don't think that would have happened. But then again, I guess that probably is a good indicator of the way you've matured and found your passion over the last few years. You know, you've found something that has struck home, and you realize your personal growth in the coaching industry is infinite.
Well, it's also personal growth in life.
Right.
You know, when you go through a lot of things and you see things in different lights, you know, going through the whole FIU incident and you know, it only can make you a better person. It makes you a stronger person. And you also understand that some people don't see passion the same way you do. And, you know, as far as now in coaching, I use that same passion because I'm a very, very loyal person to the things I believe in. And, you know, Coach Petrino giving me a chance at Western Kentucky, you can bet your behind I'm going to be loyal to Coach Petrino in Western Kentucky.
You played under Coach Erickson, Lamar, in a sort of an offense that was wide open, at least by the standards back then. One back and then a lot of wide receivers. Now that's sort of where all offenses are headed, at least in college football. What's the offense at Western Kentucky like, and what do you have to maybe teach those wide receivers, maybe something that you didn't necessarily have to know when you were playing the game?
Well, the offense at Western Kentucky, Bobby Petrino's offense, is Coach Erickson's offense on steroids. It's, you know, it's a lot, and it's a lot of learning. We do a lot of teaching. It's a lot of learning, and you know, Coach Erickson's offense back then, it wasn't that hard because what we basically did was we used our athletes and we split you out, and we dictated what we wanted, and we got it from you because we had such great athletes. Nowadays, with everybody running spread offenses and things like that, you have to be very creative and you have to attack the defense, and that's one of the things Coach Petrino does. He attacks the defense. He doesn't want you to set your defense. He wants to put you on your heels and basically play a basic defense, something that we know you're going to do, and we know exactly what to our adjustments, our assignments.
Coach Lamar Thomas joining us here on All Canes Radio. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll start to reminisce a little bit about the U, just get a couple stories and talk about the athlete, maybe the better athlete in the family, Jessica. She's gonna ball for Katie Meyer. We're gonna have to discuss that. That more after this. You're listening to All Canes Radio live from Shake Shack in the Gables. We'll be back after this.
We don't care about nobody except it's you. We don't.